In part 1, we alluded to a list of 126 historians who are said not to have mentioned Jesus. As we noted, despite what some people say, those 126 people were not all residents of first century Israel. But that's only the start of an answer. A better one will be to take a closer look at those names, though not all of them. There's a fair number we've already covered here before. What does that leave us? Well, let's have a look. From the original list of 126, we've already cut a large number that we've discussed before. Now let's pare down some categories. The original compiler of this list, a guy named Michael Palkovich, claimed that he had analyzed the works of these 126 writers. But there's a whole bunch of these whose works have been lost to us, so there's no way he could have analyzed them. That gets rid of another bunch of these names. And by the way, I'm not saying any of those lost works did refer to Jesus. Most or all probably didn't, for reasons much the same as the ones we've used on all these others. I just want to make the point that it's false for anyone to claim that all these works were checked for references to Jesus. Next, we can eliminate a whole bunch as having written on topics that would have nothing to do with history, and would raise no occasion to mention Jesus. So, for example, let's get rid of all these people who wrote on oratory, or rhetoric, or anyone who wrote on any other topic of relevant history. That includes things like grammar, medicine, Greek philosophy, biographies of other people, or anything else where a reference to Jesus would be superfluous. Next, I'll cut out people whose works I can find no information on, just a couple, and people who actually lived before the time of Jesus' ministry. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with 4 names, all of them historians, true enough. 2 of them may not have even written history covering up through the time of Jesus' ministry. Even so, we're still left with the varied factors we discussed in our vid on Remsburg's list, on why even a historian of Rome who covered the period in which Jesus lived would not be inclined to mention Jesus in the first place. In a future edition of one of my books, I plan to cover that list of 126 names in more detail. For now, let's move on to some issues concerning specific names that are the most well known. See you next time.